actually those company has a lot of export and contributing a lot of trade deficit export from China to the US. Many of them, they are foreign company factors.
Hey there, thanks for joining me. My name is Kevin Rosenquist. I am here with Jason Ho and Moe Fukada. We're going to discuss the tariffs. I'm not sure if you're aware. They're in the news a little bit these days, but we're going to talk about it. Jason, Moe, it's so great to see you guys.
Happy to see you again.
Hi, that's the name.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since we've chatted, so I'm excited. A lot has happened since the last time the three of us were chatting together, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
So, April 2nd, U.S. President Donald Trump declared Liberation Day, unveiling 10% tariffs on all imports, with some countries like China facing 54% effective tariffs. The markets tanked. The Dow dropped over 4,000 points. As of today, he rolled back some of those tariffs that he was doing, except on China. He increased the tariffs on China. Jason, I'll start with you. What do you make of what Donald Trump is doing? He said he wasn't going to roll any tariffs back, but he did. What is your opinion on how this is unfolded, especially in recent events?
I think we just look at the gambling at Las Vegas. There's a gambling board. People gamble how soon tariffs will end from Trump's side. Majority thinks before June, but it looks like it's faster than June. So it means no one thinks tariffs will go long. And Trump himself also said tariffs is more like a negotiation tool. And looks like it is a way in the Trump's consideration how to fix U.S. economy, because U.S. is the largest consumer market in the world. And U.S. consumption is important engine to drive the worldwide economy. So definitely Trump believes that's a very good negotiation power to talk to everyone, to give U.S. more favor, to give U.S. more money and have a U.S. economy coming back. So that's a simple logic.
Moe, in your opinion, is this nationalism or is this anti-China sentiment? Like, is it pro-America or anti-China, somewhere in between? Like, what do you think?
Yeah. I think Trump thinks that raising tariff is a great idea to support the American economy, but I don't think that is great idea to support American economy because even himself, because his supporter is coming from another people is not very rich people, and also his another supporter is they are billionaires. Billionaires hate tariff, and other people, they may support the tariff first, but later on, that tariff is coming back to the consumer price, and inflation will come. Then, other people also hate him in the future. So that is not a good idea for Trump to raise tariffs. So
you said that you think MAGA people are going to hate him in the future because of this?
I think so.
I don't know. I've seen some MAGA people. It's kind of like a cult, if I'm being honest. I don't think they're ever gonna dislike the man, no matter what he does.
It depends, because you're good.
Yeah, half of MAGA people still will love him, but the other side will realize that what they are supporting.
Right, Jason, what do you think?
I think the situation is complicated because the economy, especially worldwide economy nowadays, it's very, very complicated matters. It's more complicated than our body itself. Like if we have a liver disease, and do we just cut off and supply to other organs to help the liver? It doesn't work that way. And when we want to have a healthy body, and the first thing we have to say is we must have a balanced operations of all our organs. It's a very delicate situation. you want to change the balance, actually, sometimes will lead to negative effect. If we look at tariff, and definitely we look at the deficits, U.S. trade deficits, the largest one found in China. And if you look at the top 10, and then we can include Taiwan. If you look at Asian countries, South Korea, Japan, definitely they are all there. Looks like Chinese society, Asian society have a very strong impact on the U.S. trade deficit. But the problem is not so simple. And I've been asked so many times, and should the U.S. decouple with China? And this is not a real question, because just like, can you decouple your brain and your heart away? It doesn't work that way. You say, my brain wants to decouple with my heart. Also, you think maybe it's not so critical. You say, can I decouple my brain with my liver? It doesn't work that way. The world already intertwined together. The economy, the politics, the culture, especially every day we use the semiconductor chips, IT devices, it's quite very much and intertwined together. It's very hard to separate from one to another.
Donald Trump has been screaming that China has been ripping off the U.S. for forever, for years and years and years. Is there truth to that, in your opinion?
It's a true and false. First, we have to think about the history a little bit. 20 years ago, or even 30 years ago, China was extremely poor. China almost have no industry. No one thinks China would be a superpower like today. No one predicted. No one talked about it. And only Moy and I, we wrote a book, A Big Plot. We mentioned about this fact. So many China experts, so many think tanks and academy analysis, so many discussion forums 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, no one ever predicted China is going to be a superpower, not only economically, but also politically, and now seems like also militarily. So no one ever predicted. So it looks like, and China is ripping the U.S. off because it's like unfair treatment. But if you look more details, how China evolved so fast, last 30, 20 years, becoming a superpower, affects so many people. The main reason and the help actually is from outside. The immediate help is from Taiwan. So from the report, in the 2021, we don't have more recent data, but we have very reliable data. In 2021, in China, the export to the U.S. So the 10 top companies have the most export to the U.S. in the dollar amount. Actually, 6 of 10 is Taiwanese companies. So China economy, we can look this way. The manufacturing, production, especially in semiconductor and IT business, the help was coming from Taiwan. Still, Taiwan is dominated in Chinese market. And look at automobile, maybe from Europe and part of Japan. From the industrialization, automations, and Europe, Korea, Japan, even the US contribute a lot. So China economy is not an economy developed by itself, but it is economy running by foreign corporations. And China itself, it's very hard to calculate which companies China itself have so large business. Maybe we can talk about the China cloud companies, the Tencent, the Baidu, the Alibaba, but they don't have a lot of export. Majority revenue still coming from the internal market. So when we talk about the trade deficit, it looks like China is ripping off the U.S. people, U.S. ripping off the U.S. government, and it's ripping off U.S. economy. It seems like that, but if we look at more details, actually those company has a lot of export and contributing a lot of trade deficit export from China to the U.S. Many of them, they are foreign company factors when we talk about putting tariffs, and Apple has to send 5 airplanes to bring the full plane load of iPhones back to the US. This is one example. So, and China's ripping off the US. If you just look at numbers, it looks like this is correct. But if you look at more details, it is not so simple.
There's people who say that Donald Trump wanted the stock market to maybe not crash, but go down hard. Do you believe that? For either of you guys, do you want to weigh in, Moe?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. Does he intentionally attacking on stock market or not? But it's really serious problem for stock market, and because the stock price is going down and down and down every day, and also other stocks like coppers and low materials, its price also coming down. So I'm so surprised just raising tariff can give stock market and commodity market had great impact. So it's difficult to calculate one policy make so much effect. So no one can imagine that.
No. I mean, people predicted that it could be rough, but I'm not sure they predicted it to be that rough.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Trump's way. That's Trump's way.
That is the Trump way. That is very true. That is very true. Moe, I think you mentioned or one of you guys mentioned the tech billionaires, and this is really negatively affecting them. A lot of these pretty much all the tech billionaires, from Zuckerberg and Musk, obviously, Jeff Bezos, they were all at President Trump's inauguration. They were all on his side. Do you think they had any idea this was coming, or do you think they got kind of surprised by this and that they might be upset at what Trump is doing? Jason, what do you think?
I think definitely billionaires understand Trump's strategy, and when Trump's talked to supporters during the campaign and the last year in the 2024, definitely Trump mentioned about tariffs. This is a very good tool to fix and unfairness and among the U.S. and amongst U.S. allies and other nations from the world. I believe billionaires definitely they have idea, but they don't know how much degree Trump was going to work on it. Trump will work on it gently, or Trump work on it abruptly, and just like now it looks like, and a very strong impact into the worldwide economy. Probably that's not in their expectation. Those billionaires believe definitely they have strong influence into Trump strategy. They think they can persuade Trump or influence Trump to move things slowly and to move things gently, especially economy. It's not something you can make any drastical change. And everyone knows that the economy is going slowly because that's the human nature. This is a human reaction. It's a consensus from all the people around the world, not only the U.S. that's forming the worldwide economy. If any drastic move, definitely we cannot predict what is going to happen. So I believe for billionaires, and they know, and definitely they knew Trump was going to use tariff as a tool to negotiate a better trade deals with partners, trade partners of U.S. to other nations, but they didn't expect Trump would do that so abruptly.
Mm-hmm. Like you're saying, like it was so sudden rather than kind of a longer play.
Because when you do the negotiation, and talking is more important than doing things, and so talking and should be talking privately. It should be privately. It's not talking to the public, because you're talking to the public, and they will affect the market and greatly. So Trump can easily raise the phone and talk privately, use the foreign affairs approach, talking to the Japanese Prime Minister, Korean acting president, and talk to leaders in European you can talk in private. It doesn't need to bring to the public, because once bring to the public, they becoming a political show. It's not becoming a really economic, economic practice. So that's why definitely billionaires have very different ideas about, and Trump raised the tariffs to the public, not to the foreign affairs channels.
That's an important point, right? It's the public that gets hit. And we saw today that he reversed course on a lot of these tariffs, and the stock market shot back up again. At least the U.S. one shot back up again. Is this? Do you think are we just going to see this sort of like roller coaster of stock prices while this is all like for the next 4 years or however long he's in office? Like this is, what can we expect? Moe, what do you think?
It's difficult to expect the stock market, and Trump doesn't care about stock price, and he only care about trade deficit, and he always say he want to take back industry to America. So he doesn't care about a financial economy. He only cares about actual economy. But those two economies are tied together, and they affect each other. From the billionaires' point of view, I think billionaires, they care about tariff, but they are always calculating how to bypass tariff. Just like they are always avoid tax to use another countries, foreign countries, to bypass taxes. So they are very smart people. But once Trump raised tariff, not only China, but all over the world, that's a different story.
We're gonna stop here. We're gonna do a part 2 of this episode. For now, we're gonna leave it there. Jason, Moe, thank you so much for being here. Really enjoyed chatting with you both.
Thank you.